We finally have an answer to the question of whether the U.S. is more racist or sexist.
With Trump's victory, Hillary Clinton now makes an important decision: which prison gang to join.
Welcome to the Beaverton, the new show that will make the apocalypse we are currently living in slightly more palatable. I'm Miguel Rivas.
And I'm future road warrior Emma Hunter.
Our top story: sad news as the United States was found dead last night in its North American home. Investigators have ruled the death a suicide, the result of 300 million gunshot wounds to the foot. The nation was only 240.
Recently, neighbors became concerned when the nation started arguing with itself, developed type 2 diabetes, and yelled at brown kids to get off its lawn.
America leaves behind its children: Puerto Rico, Guam, the Virgin Islands, and its estranged stepchild, Guantanamo Bay. In lieu of flowers, the family asks that you send bombs to the Middle East.
In directly related news, the United States made history by electing its first ever sociopath president. Now, parents of kids who show no remorse and draw disturbing pictures can look into their children's cold, soulless eyes and say, "You can be president too." Oh my God, what did you do to all those hamsters? Previously, sociopaths were pushed to the margins of society, forced into asylums, or relegated to the corner offices on Wall Street. Despite a system that was totally rigged against him, the Donald managed to clinch the presidency by uniting a diverse network of Americans, including yellers, screamers, MRA groups, NRA members, MMA fans, MBAs, the KKK, and the American Association of Acronym Enthusiasts. Acronym pending.
But questions remain about Trump's ability to lead a divided America. Can he work with his critics? How many Syrian refugees will he deport back to Mexico? Are journalists to be imprisoned or simply shot? His campaign had more references to genitalia than policy details, so it's difficult to say what will happen once the new president moves into the Trump White House and casino.
With only 2 months left in his presidency, Barack Obama must now turn to the busy work of Trump-proofing the White House. Obama has already dismantled the drone strike program, gave several $1 billion in cash to Planned Parenthood, and put foam protectors on the sharp tips of America's nuclear warheads. Additionally, he's placed safety plugs in all of the White House electrical outlets to protect Trump's tiny fingers. A baby gate on the stairs to the Situation Room, and installed safety latches on all female staffers' pussies. Once his presidential duties are complete, Obama intends to leave Washington and move back to his home state, Kenya.
Donald Trump isn't the only big orange winner that shocked the electorate. Rachel Notley's NDP won an unprecedented victory in Alberta more than a year ago. But has she been able to win over her harshest critics? For more on how no, she has not, we go to our own Laura Cilevitz.
Since taking power in May 2015, NDP Premier Rachel Notley has, according to conservative uncles everywhere, been a disaster for Alberta. First, she set fire to Fort McMurray in order to decimate the oil industry. Then, she caused the Canadian dollar to fall to 77% of its value just by being a woman. But now, residents of Alberta say she is gone even further.
I've always been proud to live in the Wild Rose province, the backbone of Canada. But after what Notley did, I don't think our province will ever be the same.
Miss Notley's a terrible premier.
She should resign in disgrace.
What has Premier Notley done now?
I tried to start my own small business, but Notley and her bureaucrats have made it illegal for me to dig my own transcontinental oil pipeline.
Is that it?
I'm pretty sure she also drank all the milk in my house.
Rachel Notley and her progressive attitude to sexuality convinced my son to start touching himself. Down there. His penis. How old is your son? 22.
I got a DUI. Yeah, thanks, Notley.
Last night, Premier Notley came over to my house, crept around back, ripped open my garbage bags, and spread trash around everywhere. It took forever to clean up.
How can you be so sure it was Rachel Notley?
Well, I'd recognize her musk anywhere.
Jimmy never would have done this when the Tories were in power.
Premier Notley made my wife fall out of love with me.
Rachel Notley convinced my dog to eat its own poop.
Why'd you do it, Ms. Notley?
As you saw, these Albertans were outraged that they are being led by a nocturnal garbage monster who induces the young to masturbate and the old to drink. However, Premier Notley has so far refused calls to resign and denied these charges, claiming she was far too busy dealing drugs to the province's children. Laura Cilevitz, The Beaverton, Calgary.
Thanks, Laura. Speaking of segues, Kim Kardashian. Fashion icon, selfie professional, and world's most famous collector of junk in the trunk, has implemented a new charitable venture, Butts for the Needy. Kardashian, whose own famous backside has greatly benefited her, said she wanted to give those less fortunate the same thick leg up she's had. The Kardashian Buns for Bums program took to the streets earlier this week, offering the homeless backsides that ranged from perky to damn boy. So far, the program has been a success. One lucky recipient noted, not only is it a lot more comfortable to sit on the sidewalk, my new buns make me feel confident and shapely while I try to overcome addiction.
It's always nice to see people pull themselves up by their butt straps.
Dad jokes, are they annoying? After the break, we explore how one anchor thinks yes.
Everybody wants to know where they come from. And with today's genealogy websites, everybody can. But for a certain sector of the population, there's just one problem.
Why would he give them the blankets if he knew they were infected? All the women and children?
What, in pillaging? Why would they not just stop at pillaging?
That's right. If you're white, knowing the truth about where you come from can be a little uncomfortable. That's why we're proud to introduce whitewash.ca, the first ancestry site that shows you all the good parts of your family history, but glosses over the genocide-y stuff.
Hey, my ancestor ran a cotton growing co-op in the 1820s. He was so ahead of his time. It looks like I come from a long line of explorers.
Grandpa Fritz followed orders for a living. That could mean anything.
Whitewash.ca. When your family has blood on its hands, don't worry. Just whitewash it off.
Coming up next, Don Cherry unveils his new line of clothing for women.
UNESCO downgrades the Great Barrier Reef to the Deep Barrier Reef.
And a technological breakthrough in virtual insanity glasses let you experience life as Jamiroquai.
Justin Trudeau has once again won the internet. Our cool PM posted a dub smash video he recorded while approving the new transcontinental oil pipeline. The viral clip shows Trudeau and the board of Kinder Morgan performing a choreographed routine to Drake's One Dance, moments after confirming plans to build a pipeline through indigenous lands. The video has had over 10 million views, nearly as many as the shirtless photo of Trudeau signing an arms deal with Saudi Arabia.
Many Americans want to crack down on Mexican immigration, but lost in the noise is the push to protect the country's northern borders from Canadian Black Friday shoppers. Our own Donavon Stinson has more.
When America's on edge, anti-immigrant sentiment rises. People cling to guns, religion, and misinterpreted Springsteen lyrics. Plus, there's a marked uptick in citizen militia activity. With Black Friday just around the corner, I'd heard rumors of a group that was patrolling common entry points for Ontario residents to upstate New York outlet malls. So I went undercover with the Empire State Minutemen to understand what it is that's so threatening about Canadian discount shoppers.
So tell me, Mitch, why did you start the Empire State Minutemen?
Well, a few years ago, I went to one of those Bills games in Toronto.
You know, I gotta say that the Bills are probably my favorite American football team.
What?
Never mind. Go on.
Anyway, a few minutes goes by, I'm drinking a tall can in the parking lot, and a cop comes up and tells me we have public drinking laws here.
So sorry that happened to you. Fuck you.
Anyway, I'm on the way home, and I stop at Target. I get in there, and there's all these people spending Canadian money.
Canadian money.
It was sickening.
Yeah.
Drybacks everywhere, taking all our best bargains.
Wow.
Nike shoes.
The worst.
Levi's jeans.
Yeah. Mitch invited me to come along on patrol with his own personal platoon, his fiancée, and infant son. Do I need a permit for this, or am I... I'm just kidding. No. Fuck you, right?
You know, I just want Jackson to grow up in the same America I did.
Yeah.
Free of snow monkeys, buying up all the best off-brand electronics.
Yeah.
Hey, Jackson.
You like snow monkeys, don't you?
No, he doesn't.
No, he doesn't. At all. Nope. Is it loaded? We've been on patrol for about 6 hours now. We broke for lunch, 8 bathroom trips, and 2 naps. We talked a lot about his petition to build a Walmart spanning the entire Canadian border. But mostly, we drank.
Donovan, come in, over.
Go for Donovan.
Suspect coming out of Hugo Basket, a potential savings. Yeah, that's confirmed. It's a 2-for-1, 10-4. What was that? You know what, buddy? Maybe I should stay here, keep a lookout. It's all clear. I just really need medical attention. I've been shot.
Okay, you've been... It's gross. Mitch and I both needed medical attention. Me for a concussion when I was viciously tripped by an unseen insurgent, And Mitch for being shot by his 6-month-old child.
But Jackson thought he had a shot. I gotta trust his judgment. But the fact that I wasn't targeted by a foreigner, I've never felt safer.
This is so hard to say, brother, but I've been keeping something from you, Mitch. I'm Canadian.
Give me back my... I'm Canadian. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. He can't save you now, asshole.
In a way, I felt bad for Mitch. He lashed out because he was hurt, but I think he was most hurt by the bullet and the fact that he had to miss his bachelor party in Montreal that weekend. For the Beaverton, I'm Donavon Stinson.
Thanks for that report, Donovan, and the cardigan you got me. To Israel now, where tensions are running high after disaster struck a birthright teen tour. Sources say that at 11 p.m., Jonathan, the cool Israeli soldier with a hot accent, rejected Sarah Lipowicz-Goldensteinberg's advances and slept with her roommate Ronit instead. We flew Marilla Wex directly into the conflict zone early this morning at the King David Hotel. Marilla?
Hi, Miguel. The mood here is grim on this rite of passage for Jewish teenagers. Loud shrieks ring through the halls, the unsettling flashes of camera phones are a constant, and the sickly sweet smell of vodka coolers and regret wafts through the air.
Is there any indication as to what Ronit was thinking? She had to have known the international community would condemn her aggression.
The Associated Press reported earlier that Ronit knew Sarah liked Jonathan, which was later confirmed by her arrests. Knowing this, we can only assume Ronit intentionally went behind Sarah's back, perhaps as retribution for that night in Eilat when she puked all those Jaeger bombs into Ronit's Longchamp handbag.
There are members of Ronit's faction who continue to defend her territorial claim to Jonathan, pointing to Sarah's reputation as a prude who terrorizes victims with dry handjobs.
This is a contentious talking point. Marilla, is there any consensus on the ground to the truth of these rumors?
Yes, her hands are like sandpaper, Miguel. But still, should her HJs be held to a higher standard? After all, Ronit went so far as to give Jonathan a blowy at the Holocaust Memorial.
This is clearly a conflict rife with emotion. Stay safe, Marilla. Coming up, spanking your child is wrong, but teaching your child to spank himself, is that okay? Our parenting expert tells you no, it's not.
Later this hour, Pope Francis has once again asserted his cool Pope bona fides with a progressive knuckle tattoo.
A desperate ISIS is now offering martyrs 72 virgins in one spot.
And after a flood at BlackBerry headquarters, employees are scrambling to immerse the entire building in rice.
An environmental disaster struck the Gulf of Mexico today after the Bud Light cruise ship capsized, spilling 4 million liters of liquid douchebag into the ocean.
The combination of hair gel, spray tan, and cruise performer Pitbull have combined to form a toxic substance, endangering hundreds of species of wildlife native to the area.
Worst of all is the 300 barrels of rohypnol that has been released, causing several million sluggish albacore tuna to be groped and harassed by a gang of roided-up manatees. A representative for Anheuser-Busch InBev expressed regret for the unfortunate situation and couldn't fathom where the marine mammals would learn such deplorable behavior.
Moving on to the sports world, from huge hits to sweet dangles to other references I understand, the boys at the Beaverton Sports Network have got you covered. Let's go to them for an update.
Evening, welcome back to the Beaverton Sports Network. He's Pat, I'm Luke. Both of us wanted to be athletes when we grew up, and now our job is to tell you what an athlete is doing as you watch a clip of them do that thing. We're also best friends. Oh, yeah. We begin tonight with the NBA, where the Toronto Raptors and Rogers Communications have reached a new corporate sponsorship agreement affecting all aspects of the in-game experience. From now on, the basketball hoop will be renamed the Rogers Ring, the ball, a Rogers Bouncy, and the shot clock, the 24-second Ted Rogers Memorial Shot Expiration Countdown Bundle. Thanks, man. The federal government is offering the National Lacrosse League relief after witnessing the squalid conditions of the Regina Rangers facilities. Great job. I know. In the NHL, pressure is on the nation's teams to avoid a repeat of last season's failures, where not a single Canadian squad made the playoffs. Fortunately, the players appear unconcerned, insisting that, thanks to brain injuries, they don't even remember last year. Confident as ever, Flames D-man Dennis Wideman told reporters that last season was nothing more than a gray, painful blur with lots of ringing noises. But the biggest story in the hockey world is talented Leafs forward and #1 overall pick Austin Matthews breaking into the NHL. His arrival has led to a lot of speculation and has also caused a bit of a dispute between Pat and myself about how exactly the Leafs will blow this one. I think the Toronto media is going to be the key here, okay? This is an American kid from Arizona where hockey is just below lawn bowling in terms of sports popularity. He's not used to the spotlight and endless columns criticizing his every move. It is going to eat him alive. I could not disagree more. Clearly, what is going to destroy Austin Matthews are Toronto's clubs and endless hockey groupies. Within a few years, he'll be high-sticking dudes just so he can get to the penalty box and check Tinder.
You're crazy. He's a shy kid who's going to go inside his shell the second the Toronto Sun turns on him. It's Phil Kessel all over again.
No way. He's going to get obliterated on King West. He's Shane Corson all over again.
Okay, well, can we at least agree that, like all great Leafs forwards, he'll get horrifically injured the second things start going well? I mean, he is Dougie Gilmore all over again.
Right. That's totally how it will go. So, debate over? Debate over. Still friends? I'm still wearing my locket. You? No. That's about it for this BSN update. Tune in at 11 when we'll talk to the survivors of the first ever Aussie Rules Zumba class.
Welcome back. Who run the world? Girls. Specifically hot girls in the demo.
To help you stay on the right side of 30, our own beauty maven Amber is here with Amber's Alert.
Okay, listen up, you frosty pigs. From your crow's feet to your hose feet, I've got you covered. Shit's getting real, guys. A new study says it costs an average woman over $2 million in her lifetime just to be a 7. A Toronto 7 or Winnipeg 7? And with the unwavering expectations around body hair removal, that could soon fall to a Sudbury 6. Why do female healthcare products cost more than men's when their dicks are so much bigger than ours? What can women do? We need to make a strong statement. And the best way to make a statement is to say nothing at all. Let your lips color do the talking for you. With Concealer's new line of lip gloss, you can look good and feel secure that you do. Made with epoxy glue, your hot lips will literally be locked and loaded so you can't speak or eat. That's why it's this week's Amber's Alert. So what are the big colors we can expect to see this fall? You'll have the perfect pout in You Could Lose a Few, blue. Or look and feel amazing in I Don't Care If You Text Me Back, Jared. This line is going to change your life.
Any other tips for the beauty savvy?
When it comes to teeth, there's no room for diversity. Keep them straight and keep them white. Obviously. Oh, but don't worry, Miguel. When it comes to hair, the ethnic look is super in right now.
Why would I...
That's it for Amber's Alert. I'm Amber, reminding you everything everyone's saying about you is true. Thanks, Amber. Before we end the show tonight, we wanted our viewers to know about our office-wide step challenge, and Miguel and I have agreed to have our results shown on the air. Oh.
Emma, you walked 18,000 steps yesterday. That's amazing.
Ran, actually. The security guard was relentless. Okay, Miguel, let's see if you beat that. Okay, there's got to be something wrong. How did you only take 23 steps?
After last night's broadcast, I sat in my chair until tonight's broadcast. You know, like a professional.
You sat here all night. What did you do?
I read from the teleprompter, did breathing exercises, got in 3 hours of gravitas practice.
What?
Check this out. 17 were killed today in a speedboat accident.
How'd you go to the bathroom?
That's all the time we have for tonight. For the Beaverton, I'm Miguel Rivas.
And I'm Emma Hunter, and I have just as much gravitas. 18 were killed today in a speedboat accident.
20 were killed on 2 speedboats.
300 speedboats were killed themselves by the sound of guns.
Emma was killed without gravitas.
War's not a joke.
I think we sort of lost the power of the speech.